My dear friends, I invite you this moment to do something wondrous, something sacred, something eternal. I want you to close the door to the outside world and turn inward. For within you lies the secret, the only trick, if we dare call it that manifests everything your heart has longed for. It is not complex. It is not hidden behind the veils of mysticism or intellect. It is simple. Almost too simple for the rational mind to accept. But I promise you, when you apply it, it will be as though you have discovered Aladdin's lamp. Now the world will offer you endless techniques. Vision boards, affirmations shouted with great intensity, rituals performed under full moons, stones and oils and incantations. But I ask you to forget all of it, just for now, because what I'm going to share with you is older than the pyramids, truer than the stars, and more powerful than any outer act. Everything in this world, including your body, your circumstances, your wealth or lack of it, your relationships, all of it is the outpicturing of your inner conversations, your inner state. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. So then the question is not, how can I get what I want, but rather, can I become aware that I already am that which I seek? Here is the simple trick. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is all. Let that settle into your soul. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is so simple. Most reject it. They want something more dramatic, more elaborate, but the truth is always clothed in simplicity. You must go within yourself and dare to feel that which you wish were true, as though it already is. You must live inwardly from the end. You must clothe yourself in the emotion, the atmosphere, the knowing of your desire realized. Let us say you desire love, to be loved deeply and truly. Do not beg for love. Do not search for it outside of you. Go into the silence and feel what it would be like if right now, this very moment, you were already cherished, adored, known and seen. Feel the warmth of it, the peace of it, the fullness of it. Feel it so deeply that it becomes more real to you than the absence of it. You are not waiting for it. You are not hoping for it. You are not wishing it may happen someday. You are dwelling in the reality of it. That, my dear, is the trick. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are no longer in a state of longing. You have moved into possession. The moment you feel it real, you are it. And what you are, the world must reflect. It cannot do otherwise. This world, this so-called physical reality, is nothing more than the outpicturing of your imagination. There is no objective world separate from your state of consciousness. You rise and fall by the imaginal acts you perform. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the operant power. The reason why many people do not manifest what they want is not because manifestation is difficult. It is because they never commit fully to the inner assumption. They waver. They doubt. They entertain two masters, the seen and the unseen. And as scripture says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So how do you use this simple trick? Practically. Begin with a clear desire. Know what you want. Be honest. Do not censor yourself. If you want wealth, admit it. If you want recognition, own it. Desire is not to be suppressed. It is divine. It is the voice of your higher self calling you to a fuller expression. Once you know what you desire, go into the silence. You may lie on your bed, sit in a chair, close your eyes, turn away from the senses. Let the world fall away. Enter the sacred chamber of imagination. Now construct a short scene. A scene that implies your desire has already been fulfilled. If you desire marriage, imagine slipping the ring on your finger or hearing your loved one whisper, "I'm so happy we're married." If you desire financial freedom, imagine checking your bank account and seeing a balance that makes you smile. Do not make it complicated. Just a moment, a fragment of a scene. And now, here is the trick. Feel it real. Not in the future, not as a fantasy, but as though it is happening right now. Feel the emotion, the satisfaction, the peace, the gratitude. Let it fill you until you are no longer pretending. You are being. This state, this feeling is the secret. Dwell in it, not once but repeatedly. Return to it every night before you fall asleep. Saturate your subconscious with it. For your subconscious is the womb of creation. What it accepts as true, it expresses in form, and you will know it is done, not when you see it, but when you no longer need to see it. When you feel so certain within, so satisfied inwardly that you are unmoved by appearances, that is when manifestation is inevitable. You see, you do not manifest by force. You manifest by surrender. Surrender to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is the divine trick. You surrender your doubts, your fears, your need to figure out how, and you rest in the knowing that it is already done. Do not concern yourself with time. Time is irrelevant to the subconscious. Do not ask how long will it take. That is the question of someone who is not yet living from the end. If I asked you how long it takes to be who you already are, you would see the absurdity. There is only now. And in the eternal now, you are either identified with your wish or you are not. That is the only thing that matters. This trick, this holy art, is not about trying. It is about knowing. It is not about effort. It is about alignment. When you assume the feeling, you are stepping into the version of yourself where the desire is natural, inevitable, already realized. And now, the world begins to reconfigure itself. People, places, events will begin to move in ways your rational mind could never have orchestrated. You will meet the right people. Doors will open, ideas will come, resources will appear. But they are not your doing. They are the echo, the shadow of the state you now dwell in. Do not be distracted by the outer world. It may take time to catch up to your new inner state, but it must come. It must reflect what you are. So be still and know. Even when the old reality screams its evidence, turn away. Persist in the assumption, do not be double-minded. One with God is a majority, and God is your own wonderful human imagination. If you forget all else, remember this. You are not manifesting a thing. You are manifesting a state. The state includes the thing, but the state is primary. Become the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Think their thoughts, feel their feelings, walk as they would walk, speak as they would speak, and most importantly, rest in their inner knowing. This is the divine impersonation, not to fake it, but to embody it, until the line between pretending and being disappears, and all that is left is you, radiant, fulfilled, alive. It is written, to him that hath more shall be given. Why? Because the one who hath, who assumes they have, dwells in the state of possession, and the world gives them more of the same. But to the one who hath not, even what they seem to have shall be taken, because they dwell in lack, in absence, and their world reflects it faithfully. So my dear, dwell in having, assume it now. Do not wait. This is not arrogance. This is faith. Faith is not hoping. Faith is knowing. And the knowing is born of inner feeling. Let me tell you. The moment you feel it real, the universe begins to bend. You do not need to chase. You do not need to beg. You do not need to struggle. It is already yours. It has always been yours. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. Change your consciousness, and your world will change. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. You are the light casting the shadow, not the shadow itself. So now, I invite you, this moment, to try the trick. Whatever your heart longs for, take a breath, close your eyes and feel it done. Not tomorrow. Now, live from the end. Hear the congratulatory words. Feel the embrace, taste the joy, and do it with such sincerity that your subconscious accepts it as true. That is the simple trick, and yet it is the most powerful force in existence. For imagination creates reality. There is no power outside of you greater than the power within you. There is no fate stronger than your inner conviction. There is no destiny written in stone that cannot be rewritten by the hand of your own consciousness. So go now, and be bold in your imagining. Do not settle. Do not shrink. The whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Love it. Command it. Transform it, not by might, but by assumption. This is the truth that sets you free. This is the law fulfilled in love. This is how you manifest anything, everything, by using the simplest trick of all. Assume it is done. Feel it real. Live from the end. And so it is. Feel it more vividly. Make the scene so real in your mind's eye that you can touch it, taste it, smell it. Let it take on tone and texture. Let your senses dance in the atmosphere of your fulfilled desire. Do not simply observe it as though you were watching a play. Enter into it. Be the actor, the experiencer, the one who has already received. When you hear the sound of the voices congratulating you, hear it through your own ears. When you see the place where it happens, look through your own eyes. Let your whole being become saturated with this truth. And when you open your eyes, carry that feeling with you like a perfume. Let it linger in your breath, in your smile, in the way you walk. When the world presents evidence to the contrary, do not be discouraged. That is merely the echo of your old state, your previous dwelling. Keep moving in consciousness. Remain loyal to your new identity. You are not what the mirror says. You are what your imagination declares. The world is only catching up. You may wonder, what if I don't feel it strongly enough? What if my mind wanders? I say to you, persist. Persist gently. The subconscious is not moved by force, but by repetition. Like drops of water upon a rock, the steady practice carves reality. Do not strain. That which you force, you do not yet believe. Gently return to the feeling. Each night before sleep, feel yourself into your ideal. Let it be the last thought you entertain before drifting into the fertile soil of slumber. In that drowsy state, the seed is planted. In that sacred silence between waking and sleep, your assumption takes root. Let it grow in darkness. Do not big it up to see if it's working. That is the mistake of impatience. Trust the process. If you have assumed the feeling, then it is already done. The outer must conform, not by magic, but by law. The same law that governs the rising of the sun and the blooming of the flowers governs your life, and that law responds to your inner state. Your assumption, once felt and accepted as true, sets in motion countless unseen events. You need not know the how. That is not your work. Your only work is the inner assumption. The outer world is the clay, but you are the potter. The hands that shape your world are invisible, moved by your consciousness. If you feel doubt, if the voice of reason whispers, "This is foolish," recognize that voice for what it is, an echo of your former state. It cannot harm you unless you give it your faith. Instead, reaffirm your inner conviction. I already am that which I seek. It is done. It is so. Let that be your new affirmation. Say it softly, but with authority. Not as a mantra to convince yourself, but as a statement of truth. You see, manifestation is not about forcing reality to bend to your will. It is about surrendering to the truth of your being, the truth that you are already one with the desire. There is no separation. The desire was never outside of you. It is you calling you to recognize yourself. So I say, drop the struggle, drop the trying. Be still and know. Know who you are. Know what you've assumed. Know that you are the source, not the seeker, the giver, not the beggar, the creator, not the creature. And watch what unfolds when you begin to live from this truth. Not occasionally, not conditionally, but consistently. Let your imagination be the workshop where your life is designed. Return there often. Sit in the silence. Imagine boldly. Feel richly. Let the images move you emotionally. Because emotion is the language of the subconscious. It is not the words that impress, but the feeling behind the words. Now some may ask, can I manifest more than one thing? I tell you yes, all things are possible. But focus is key. Do not scatter your energy. Dwell on one desire at a time. Feel it fully. Possess it inwardly. When that assumption feels natural and true, move on to the next. Let each state become your home before you travel to another. And remember, once you have felt something real, you do not need to repeat it with anxiety. Repetition is only needed when the assumption has not yet become natural. But once the feeling of possession is steady and sure, you may release it, knowing it is done. This is how masters create, not by struggle, not by toil, but by the quiet certainty of inner knowing. They walk by faith, not by sight. And so must you. Keep this sacred trick close to your heart. Do not underestimate its simplicity. Do not dress it up with unnecessary complications. The greatest truths are always simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption. Let it harden into fact. And when it does, when the phone rings, when the opportunity arrives, when the desire manifests in visible form, do not be surprised. Rejoice, yes, but do not be shocked. For you will have known all along. You will have seen it first within. The outer is only a reflection of your inner certainty. This is the divine order. Imagination first, manifestation second. The world follows your inner command, not the other way around. So persist, my friend, feel it real, again and again, not with desperation, but with delight.
Let it become your joy to imagine, your pleasure to assume, your peace to rest in the feeling that all is well, because it already is. There is nothing you cannot have, nothing you cannot be, nothing you cannot do. If you are willing to feel it as real, that is the entire law. That is the simple, powerful trick. And those who use it, quietly, faithfully, joyfully, will tell you the same thing. It works. It always works. It works not because of chance, or luck, or alignment of the stars. It works because consciousness is the only reality. And your assumptions shape it. You are not hoping it will happen. You are knowing it has already happened. That knowingness, that inner stability, is the cause behind every so-called miracle. And the world in all its detail simply rushes in to mirror your belief. So do not wait for proof before you believe. That is the way of the outer man. The inner man believes first and lets the world conform. Walk differently, speak differently, carry yourself as the one who already has. Not in arrogance, but in calm confidence. Let your inner conviction be the atmosphere through which you move. When you wake in the morning, revisit your assumption. When you lie down at night, sink again into that sacred scene. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Even when nothing seems to happen, continue. Even when days pass and the world appears unchanged, continue. Because it is not unchanged. Beneath the surface, the unseen is moving. Seeds are sprouting. Doors are unlocking. People are shifting. All in response to your inner world. The universe is reconfiguring itself for you. Because you have changed your state. You are no longer asking for the thing, you are living from it. And the law must fulfill what you accept as true. You will not always need to script or visualize in detail. Once the feeling becomes natural, it moves with you. It colors your conversations, influences your choices, and guides your steps. You become a living embodiment of your wish fulfilled, and your reality must match it. There is no other way. Reality is compelled to obey the command of your dominant assumption. This is not about pretending. It is not about faking happiness or forcing joy. It is about choosing to believe in the unseen more than the seen. It is about feeling from the end, not toward it. When you feel from the end, your journey becomes effortless, not passive, but flowing. Actions arise organically from your new identity. Inspired ideas come. People arrive. Circumstances shift. But none of these are the cause. They are the effect. The cause was your assumption. The trick, the secret, the golden key is in this. Live as though it is already yours. If you are waiting to see it to believe it, you are waiting forever. But if you believe it now, feel it now, accept it now, you collapse time. You draw the unseen into the seen. You become the bridge between the invisible and the visible. And this is your rightful place. This is your divine inheritance. You were never meant to chase, to strive, to beg. You were meant to create, to command, to assume. That is your power. And that power is exercised, not by effort, but by feeling. Yes, the simple trick is this. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist. Persist, not with strain, but with delight. Persist, not with fear, but with faith. Keep returning to the inner scene until it becomes your natural dwelling place. Let it be more real than what your eyes show you. The senses lie. They only echo past assumptions. But your imagination tells the truth of what is to come. Trust it. Trust the voice within you that says, it is done. You are not waiting for life to happen. Life is waiting for you to decide. Life mirrors back your conviction. What you dare to believe is what you will live. And the more you persist in that belief, the faster the world conforms. So do not waver. Do not bounce between doubt and faith. Choose your state and remain loyal to it. Walk through the world with the inner knowing that your desire is already yours. Let others call it unrealistic. Let the world call it madness. But you know better. You have touched the power within. You have glimpsed the secret that sages spoke of in whispers. You have discovered that the world outside is just a shadow, and the substance is within you. So go there. Live there. Feel from there. And when the outer shifts, when the money arrives, the relationship unfolds, the health is restored. Smile. Not in surprise, but in knowing. You'll remember that you were not hoping for it. You were knowing it. You were not chasing it. You were dwelling in it. And the world had no choice but to catch up to your inner certainty. Now you are the one others look to and say, how did you do it? And you will tell them as I am telling you now. I assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and I persisted in that state. That was the only trick. That was the only work. And you will smile. Not because it was difficult, but because it was simple. So simple, most overlook it. But not you. You've seen through the illusion. You know now. The kingdom of heaven is within, and all things are added unto you when you assume it is already so. As you continue in this knowing, day by day, you begin to realize there is a rhythm to it, a harmony between your inner state and the unfolding of events. No longer are you shaken by appearances, because appearances are the outpicturing of past assumptions. You've learned to bless them, thank them, and move forward, not reacting, but responding with quiet power. You do not argue with reality. You revise it. You do not fear the future. You feel the end. Even your failures, your setbacks, your delays, these you reinterpret. They are not signs of defeat. They reveal to you where you still hold doubt, where you have slipped into the old man's clothing. And with this new awareness, you simply return. Return to the feeling. Return to the feeling. Return to the state. Return to the end. You become, over time, a master of your own consciousness. You live more from the inside out, and less from the outside in. No longer do you beg, or wish, or hope. You know, you assume, you receive. Not with grasping hands, but with open heart. The world no longer intimidates you, because you no longer worship it. You have dethroned the external and crowned the internal, as your only God. And still, the trick remains the same. No new secret, no new technique. Just the eternal truth. Feel it real. Enter the state of the wish fulfilled. Let it absorb you, define you, express through you. Let it become so natural that to think otherwise feels strange. That's when you know the work is done, not when the world changes, but when your inner talk, your inner reactions, and your inner mood align with your chosen reality. And so you live in the world, but not of it. You interact with people and situations, but your center of gravity is within. You look upon the facts, but you answer only to the truth you have assumed. And because of this, you walk in peace. You live in confidence. You radiate the calm assurance of someone who knows their place in the universe. And your manifestations, they come, not all at once, not always as expected, but they come, and they come faster now. Why? Because your faith is no longer in the outer world. It is in your inner world. You have reversed the flow. You have turned the spotlight inward. You have given power back to where it belongs. The trick is not to struggle harder, or think longer. The trick is not even to imagine more vividly, though vividness helps. The trick is to feel it now. That's all. To become the one who has, to speak like them, to walk like them, to think like them. And if ever you forget, if ever you feel off course, don't condemn yourself. Just return. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel again. You see, this trick, this sacred technique, it doesn't just manifest things, it transforms you. It reveals who you truly are, because when you dare to feel the end as real, you let go of the mask of limitation. You shed the costume of lack, and you stand, at last, as the God you have always been, a creator, a chooser, a dreamer who no longer dreams about life, but dreams life itself into form. Those around you, they will notice. They may not understand it at first, but they will feel your calm, your joy, your quiet authority, and they will ask, what is it? What changed? And you will simply smile, and say, I stopped waiting, I stopped hoping, I began assuming, I began feeling the truth I once only wished for, and that changed everything, and it will continue to change everything. For once you learn the trick, you never unlearn it. You may forget for a moment, but it lives in you now. The seed is planted, the path is known, you have felt the power, and you will never again look at the world in the same way, because you are not the same. You have awakened to the greatest secret of all, that reality is not something done to you, it is something done through you, and what flows through you is whatever you dare to assume. So dare boldly, imagine freely, feel deeply, and persist. For the one who persists in the assumption of their wish fulfilled will see it made flesh. That is the law, that is the promise, that is the power behind every miracle you have ever heard of, and it belongs to you, always has, always will. So I leave you with this: you are not here to react to the world, you are here to create it. The moment you assume your desire is already fulfilled, the universe bends to match that assumption. This is not just theory. This is not just a comforting idea. It is law. It is truth. And the greatest truth of all is this: you are the operant power. There is no one coming to save you, because there is nothing to be saved from. There is only to be awakened to. Awaken to the fact that your imagination is not idle. It is divine. Awaken to the truth that your feelings are not fleeting. They are formative. Awaken to the knowing that your assumption is your permission slip for miracles. You do not have to wait, beg, or strive. Just assume. Just feel it real. Just live from the end. That is the trick. And that is the transformation. Because once you accept that your inner world is the cause of all, you will never fear the outer world again. You are no longer the victim of circumstance. You are the author of destiny. Now, go and assume wisely.